I work primarily with people who have gone through life-changing losses and help them build skills in the middle of it. That's what I am all about. I believe in the power of resilience. And resilience is not what people think it is. Resilience is the skill. Can everybody acquire a skill? Yes. Of adapting positively in the middle of adversity. It is not just bouncing back. It's a little bit more than that. It's a matter of being able to pull from areas around you, from people, from a network, let's say. Will, my husband, has written a book called Refrigerator Rights, and that is building a network around you where there are enough people who are able to come into your home and open your refrigerator and take something out and you don't think it's strange. And so if you can build skills, and think about the times in your life when you've even had to build skills to do something that you didn't really want to do and didn't think you were capable of. Go back all the way to when you were in junior high school and had to operate a locker for the first time, and you were a nervous wreck. And within just a short period of time, you could go up to that locker, whip that around, slam it shut, and be on your way. I believe that is true for us in everything we do. That shows us a way to adapt, to handle, even to grow in the midst of adversity, trauma, illness, hard times. There are some wonderful books on resilience, but the main author today is a woman named Ann Maston, and her book, Ordinary Magic, is something I recommend that CCN buy and make available to people in your network. And she talks about the fact that when she began to look into resilience and what it is, she found that in the engineering sciences, resilience is described this way. Materials are resilient when they resist cracking or breaking under stress. And isn't that the way it feels sometimes? I'm sitting next to Bonnie, a school counselor, and talking about her cute short hair after she went through her chemo. And there are times when you're going through treatment, when you're going through times of trauma, where you feel like you are going to break, you are going to crack. And this description says, will not break, will not crack under stress, but actually return to the original form after distortion by stress or load. And when I thought about return to original form after you've had part of your body removed or something like that, how can that be? And as I thought about this, I thought, regardless of what we've been through, I'm still me. You're still you. And that's what we're talking about addressing. There's another book, and by the way, I have left these books available, just the names and authors available on the front table, and then Talisa will have it, because I think these are helpful things to read, which bring growth and hope into our hands. And this book is called The Handbook of Positive Emotions. Now, when I'm teaching people how to deal with loss and grief, I don't use the word emotions. I talk about reactions. I don't talk about feelings, because people kind of get uncomfortable when somebody says, well, how are you feeling? Well, first of all, you may not want to tell them how you're feeling, but secondly, it's an awkward topic. But these three people, Tugad, Sheola, and Tugad is spelled Tugade, Sheola and Kirby have written a book called The Handbook of Positive Emotions. What would happen if we began to work on these in pursuit of resilience? And what would those be? You know, people often talk about happiness. Well, happiness depends on happenings. Sometimes the happenings aren't good. Let's dig deeper. How about a new attitude? When I was talking with Will about this before we came, he whipped onto the internet and got a video of Patti LaBelle singing, "I Got a New Attitude." And this is what we're talking about, helping people to do. And listen to what some of these emotions are. Pride. Who talks about developing pride? Aren't you proud of the work you're doing? Aren't you proud of what you have overcome? Aren't you proud to be affiliated with people, to be a part of a family, a network that works to help other people? Pride. Love, certainly. I had a grandmother who always quoted, "Love covers a multitude of sins." I'm not even sure it's a scripture, but she sure said it a lot. And in her drive to help us be loving people. Compassion. That's at the top of the list. Everybody wants to be around people who have compassion. Gratitude. You can't feel sorry for yourself when you're focused on gratitude. Awe. That's not usually in a list of emotions that we think about cultivating. What brings you to a place? What sunrise? What baby's hand brings you to a place of awe? Inspiration, perseverance, belief about the deservedness of your suffering. A lot of people who are suffering come to the conclusion, as I did when my husband died, that I deserved it. I probably wasn't the best person I could be. This was maybe my fate. I would never be happy again. I would never love again. And guess what? I was wrong. But people come to that conclusion, and sometimes our culture perpetuates it. For instance, a lot of people said to me when Bob died, "Couldn't you tell he was sick? Didn't you get him to the doctor?" You know, the implication is that I should have done something. And because I didn't, he died. And these things stick with people. If you don't bring them up, you can't address them. So here we are addressing them. Hope. Hope is big. Hope is a belief that can occur in the midst of suffering. So it's one of those emotions that's a positive that can coexist with the negative and help get you through. So what can we do to build these skills and help our clients build them? There are a number of things. First of all, there's a very interesting book that Will has turned me on to called The Willpower Instinct. And it's by Kelly McGonigal of Stanford, I believe. And it's so neat what she has to say. From her research, she has been able to indicate that willpower is a diminishing resource. So you can go on that diet and you can get to the gym and you can make great strides and 2 months later fall off the edge. Why? Well, obviously your willpower isn't very good. Maybe that's a conclusion we come to ourselves, but it's not true. It is like a muscle that if you don't find ways to use it, it will diminish and you will be disappointed again. Even knowing it made me feel better. You also need to hang out with positive people. You want to say, wouldn't it be nice if everybody had a loving family? Well, not everybody does. And there are some families that when tragedy strikes, when the diagnosis comes, when some other disaster appears, they're gone. Or they're critical. Or they want to tell you what to do with no knowledge themselves.